We're going to make two like recipes, and then we're going to do one thing at the end to kind of, mash up everything together into one cohesive little plate. So the one most requested recipe that I get from people that are here is chicken salad. We have it at lunch every single day, Monday through Friday. It is the most requested recipe. So if you haven't tried it at lunch, it's over with the deli bar stuff. You just ask for a scoop if you want, have some crackers or whatever, and it's super, super tasty. So when my wife and I had our restaurant, which is in Rutherfordton, this was like the thing. But we couldn't make it fast enough to keep up with the demand. So when we closed the restaurant and I started here, it just kind of felt natural just to bring that. And there's a few other things that we do here that we did at the restaurant too. But the low-fat, low-cal balsamic, which is the second recipe that we're going to do today, was also one of those things that we had at the restaurant too. We're going to make those two things, and then at the end, we're going to make a little salad thing for the dressing to go on to have with the chicken salad. Grilled chicken salad. That's what we're going to start with. It's super simple. Boneless, skinless chicken breast is what we always use. If you got a rotisserie chicken or something like that from the grocery store, you could use rotisserie chicken to save yourself the time and effort of grilling the chicken. Obviously, it's different flavor-wise, but chicken. That's why everybody always says, "Oh, it tastes like chicken." So we start with marinating the chicken, okay? And super simple marinade: fresh garlic, fresh lemon juice, dried herbs. I use dried herbs in this because it has a little bit more of an intense flavor. So I use oregano and thyme, just dried oregano and thyme. And this gives you an opportunity to use all those spices that have been in your pantry for 7 or 8 years. And it's just one of those things where you just kind of just throw it all into a bowl. Minced garlic. I always use fresh garlic. I don't like the garlic that's in the tube garlic stuff, or the stuff that's packed in the water and it's all, I don't like any of that stuff. Yellow mustard. Don't use, you can use Dijon if you want, but I like the flavor of yellow mustard most. This is a canola olive oil blend. If I marinate something, I'll use a blend, because if I used olive oil, if I refrigerated it overnight, then the oil would coagulate and then it wouldn't do what it's supposed to do. So I use a blend so that I can refrigerate it overnight and not have to worry about that. And this is just a half a lemon. I'm going to use the other half in the salad itself. In this regard, with the marinade, you don't necessarily have to worry about the seeds and stuff because you're going to grill it, and no big deal. Thank you, sir. And give this a mix. And that's it on the marinade. Doesn't need much of anything else. If you do this, the marinade, I wouldn't suggest doing it like longer than overnight. Like, don't do it the night before and then having it the next evening, because the acid in the from the lemon will cook the chicken. So you put it in the refrigerator, you come in the next day, and it's going to be like white and kind of stiff around the edges and stuff. Salt, pepper. Also, I didn't put that in there before. We're just going to grill it. We're going to grill the chicken, so it's going to be about 3 minutes on each side, and then we take, this is a chef secret, a restaurant chef secret. When we sear things or we grill things or whatever, we grill it, sear it, whatever it is, in a pan, on a grill, and then we finish it in the oven. Almost always. Unless it's the thin piece of fish or something like that, we might finish it in the pan or on the grill. But chicken, steaks, anything like that, it's marked and then it's finished in the oven, so you have even heat and everything around it. So the low-fat, low-cal balsamic. This is the one that's on the salad bar every day. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit lower in calorie, lower in fat, this one is out there and for you to try. This recipe only has 2 tablespoons of olive oil versus most, and it's an emulsion. Does everybody know what an emulsion is? Where you take things that aren't supposed to go together and make them go together. So that's what we're going to be doing with this. And a vinaigrette, like a traditional French vinaigrette, is going to be 3 to 1. So 3 parts of fat or oil to 1 part acid, vinegar or lemon juice or lime juice or whatever. Same concept, only we're not going to have to sit here and pour in super slowly the olive oil until it emulsifies. The yogurt and all those things are going to pretty much emulsify almost instantaneously. So it's a little bit faster, and it will stand up better longer in the refrigerator. That was balsamic vinegar. This is soy sauce. We use tamari because it's low in sodium, and it's GF. Garlic, basil. That's basil from the garden. Dijon mustard. It's like 6 tablespoons, I think is what the recipe calls for. Salt, pepper. Tammy from housekeeping. This is her honey. Her and her husband raised bees. The lid. Fancy, gigantic. You don't have to blend it super long or anything like that, but it's 2 tablespoons of oil. So you do want to kind of drizzle that in somewhat slowly. If you were to just dump it all in there with the rest of it, it would probably break. I don't know if you can see the consistency or not, but for lack of a better term, it's a runny dressing. It's not got a lot of viscosity to it, but that's the way it's supposed to be. It's got a lot of vinegar in it, so it's a really punchy kind of vinaigrette. Lots of flavor, but yeah, that's just the way it's supposed to be. It doesn't take very long to bring it together, and it's super tasty. It goes really well with tomatoes, cucumbers, avocado. I mean, we're gonna make a little salad to go with the chicken salad, so which we're gonna make now. So, craisins. A lot of people don't like fruit in their chicken salad. I don't like grapes because they get slimy like almost instantaneously. But craisins, because they're dried, I'm okay with it. I don't know, they don't get slimy, and I like the flavor of it. So these are pecans, whatever you want to say. Toast them, even if they say when you buy them that they're roasted and salted or whatever, still toast them a little bit more because they always could get a little more flavor. More yellow mustard. I'm just a good old boy from the South. I like yellow mustard. All right, celery. Let me scooch this over here. So these are just regular celery ribs. If you ever want to try something kind of different, if you're making a salad or something like that, celery greens, the leaves, are super, super tasty. They're very fresh. Not a whole lot to them as far as, I mean, you see them. It's just that right there. But you get them dressed with some vinaigrette. So I'm just going to cut those up and we'll sit them to the side because I'm going to put them in with the salad at the end. The rest of the celery, I'm going to dice them up as small as I can because I like the flavor of it in general, like within something, but I don't like to bite into a big giant piece of celery. Diced all that celery. I don't know if you noticed or not, I was using the claw. The knife never leaves the cutting board with a French knife. That's the ones that you see that are the, regular chef knives that are, wide and they have a curve to the blade part. Those are French knives. Japanese knives or Asian knives usually are flat. Most of the time they're sharpened only on one side, and they are meant for, if you ever watch Iron Chef or anything like that, you see an Asian chef cooking, they don't do this unless they had went to France and trained in France by a French chef. They cut this way. So, but that's how you can tell the difference between a French knife and a Japanese knife. Flat blade, rounded blade, stays on the table or for chopping. Scallions, green onions, whatever you want to call them, same thing. I always like to peel back the first layer because there tends to be a little bit of sand inside. If you peel them back and you do see sand or something like that, then you might run them under water for a minute. Pick them all up, tap them down to the roots, take the root end off. Same thing with them, claw. You get close to the edge of the board, scooch it over and start again. So, scallions in. It is a different flavor, scallions versus, or even shallots. It's a different flavor. I like this green onion flavor personally, so that's what I use. It seems to work. I use the other half of my lemon. You can you know, got one of those squeezers and that kind of stuff, but you don't have to. You can just, if it's a good juicy lemon like this is, I mean, I've got 4 seeds right out the gate, but just let it rest in your hand, and then you just kind of open your fingers a little bit, and the juice will come out and the seeds will stay. But you don't need much. Dukes. So mayonnaise is in, salt and pepper. Give it a stir. So this is the base. All we're going to do at this point is add chicken. You can do this one of 2 ways. You can cut them up into chunks and then put it in a food processor, or you can do it all by hand and just with a knife. At the restaurant, when we served it a little chunky, more so than here. Here's more, it's not like getting like Ruth's or something like that from the grocery store. It's got a little bit more texture and stuff to it. So I like to do as much of it as I can by hand without having to use a food processor. But if you like it more pureed or less, you know, it's totally up to you. So we'll make the salad part of it. Celery leaves, parsley, the Italian kind, not the curly stuff. You want the Italian kind. I don't think curly parsley tastes good at all, and you know, mostly it's for like Ruth's Chris to put on the side of the steak plate. You know, this is the other good thing about Italian parsley. Curly parsley can't do it because it tends to want to just like break all up. But the flat leaf parsley, the way you cut it, you just grab it and just ball the snot out of it. And this is called chiffonade, fancy French term that means ribbons. This is just butter lettuce. This is watermelon. 2 tomatoes from the garden. And this is a cascabel pepper. Some cucumber, some avocado, and some red onion. This is one of those things you just do like a pantry salad or refrigerator salad. You just go in and whatever's there. You know, don't be afraid of fruit either, because watermelon and balsamic are like peas and carrots. So Alberta made watermelon water today for us for lunch. So she takes these and she puts some water, a little bit of salt, and some lemon juice, and she blends it in the blender, and then she strains it so you just get the water off of it. It's really good. Usually heirloom varieties look like this, and they're kind of ugly and stuff, but this one was a Parks Whopper, I think was the name of it. If you have a paring knife and you want to get the stem end out, then you put your thumb about 1 inch from the point and you dive down in like this. So your thumb will stop it from going too far, and you pull the stem end out. But the heirloom varieties like this that have the seeded spot or the like dried spots, just cut those out. They're not bad. It's just, but yeah, this is a Mr. Stripey heirloom tomato that came out of the garden out there. But I love the color and everything of it. And you cut these however you want to cut them. Look at that. I always, with these kinds of tomatoes, I like to do like really like thin wedges. The only time I de-seed is if I'm making a sauce. It's just like this for a salad or something like that, then I'll leave the seeds in. I don't mind the seeds. I like the thin wedge. I don't know. My mom used to cut them this way when we had salads at home, and it just always stuck with me. So, and you don't have to do anything with it. You know, I mean, anybody can put that in their mouth as a bite. You know, that's something I think about a lot when I'm making stuff. You know, cucumber. These are seedless because clearly there's no such thing as seedless. Otherwise I wouldn't be cutting these seeds out right now. I'm just going to cut thin slices. Red onion. I'm going to cut this red onion in half. I'm going to take the top and the bottom off. This is called a julienne cut in French, julienne. There's bâtonnet, there's julienne, and there's allumé. Those are the three different sizes of slice. That is an allumé. Yeah, a julienne is going to be like this. And a bâtonnet is going to be like this. Onions, avocado. This is the only thing I'm not going to do. I mean, I guess I can do the slice thing. But so avocados, this guy. So this is the way you buy avocados. You go to the store and you pick them and you just squeeze. It's not true. It's not what you do. You take the little, find one that has, well, this one didn't have the stem part. You find one that has the stem part like this. You pull the stem part out, and if it's brown and grody, then don't buy it. If it's at least, light brown or green even, then you're good. You go in till you hit the seed, then twist it apart, take that knife blade and pull the seed out. This is the secret to brown-free guacamole. Put the seeds, at least 2 of them, in with the guac whenever you mash it up. You put those in there and mix it up, and it'll keep them turning brown. I'm just going to go through with my knife. I won't go all the way through the skin. I'm just going to go to the skin, right? So at that point, there's slices. You can take a spoon and you can like that, or you can just do it the chefy way and just mash it up. Lay it on the plate, whole leaves like this. Then you just lay the leaves on the plate. You can put the salad on top of it and the chicken next to it. If you don't like the butter lettuce or the Boston bib, you could use red oak or spinach or frisee or... Yeah, don't ever throw the juice away. When you let that chicken rest, whatever's in that bowl or whatever you're resting it on, don't throw that away. That's flavor.